Hey, what's up, everybody? Pat here, great recovering alcoholic and addict, just like every day. Guys, please don't forget to subscribe, leave the video a like, drop me a comment, and by all means, share it with anybody you think might get something out of it. On that, how is everybody, guys? I'm doing fantastic. I had a really, really good day. I hope you all did too. I had a great day. So the topic of the video today is going to be willingness to change. It's part of the Serenity Prayer. It's kind of what we're talking about. The Serenity Prayer is one of my favorite things. It is not just something we say in meetings. It is a tool we can use to judge every situation in our life. And then literally it breaks it down into those three things. Is it something we have to accept? Is it something we cannot change? Or is it something we can change if we have the courage to do so? And then you need the courage to do so, guys. More often than not, the answer is we can if we have the courage. And that's one thing I know is hard. So many people get hung up on it. I think I got a leg up on it because it was so much in my life that I had to change. I didn't have anything to cling on to, really, when I came into recovery. It was all, after I was out there so long, I burnt it so hard, I desperately needed change, so I embraced change. I've been chasing change every day for the last, just almost coming up on about 19 and a half months now. And let me tell you, actually more than that, because I had a month before that, so a little over 20 months. Let me tell you, it's beautiful. It has built me strength. It has built me confidence. It's built me a new life. I'm a new person. I've never been this version of me. I've never been this happy. I've never been this free. I had an incredibly busy day today, and during that busy day, I was talking about it a little bit yesterday. I've been trying to figure out the road test situation. Where can I use my vehicle? I found out some information that I can, but it's really difficult. There's a lot of hoops you got to go jump through. And I don't want to put somebody else out and have to use their vehicle. So I already made the appointment to get new tires on my truck. Basically, I was going to need at least 2 anyway, but I'm like, screw it, let's just go with 4. I'm keeping the vehicle for a while. Let's make the thing mint. And I decided I was going to go after the information today and try and get this thing figured out. So part of it was the whole situation is I have a pedal e-brake in my truck. You cannot, and I have a full console. The driving instructor or driving whatever, the guy that does the test doesn't have access to it, so my truck is not eligible to do so. But in the instant where it's more important that I have a breathalyzer in my vehicle, that's the whole point of my license in the test. It's actually an IID or interlock road test. It can be overlooked if the vehicle is fully insured, inspected, safety inspections will make sure your vehicles are up to par. Everything, lights, windshield washers, tires, emergency brake, the whole 9 yards. They will check. But I realized that, and I'm like, and again, a friend of mine is behind me in the program. He's getting his done. He would let me use his vehicle if need be, but again, I don't want to be reliant upon anybody else. If I can use my truck, I want to know what the rules are, and I don't want to wait. I want my license in my hand. I've waited 29 years. So I took it upon myself to look up the information on the Mass DOT website. I did find that, yes, indeed, it's not an easy thing. There is literally one inspector in the entire state. She is the top of the road test inspections. She's the one that trains the people who train the people that do the tests. One person in the entire state you have to get through to, and this can be an experience and it can take months because she travels around. She's not in any one set place. You got to try and call a number. They give me a phone number. I call it. There's not a menu option for it, so I couldn't get to a live operator. When I finally got to a live operator, or at least put on hold, they told me it was like a 2-hour wait. And I'm like, you know what? The other thing is you can go to a full service DMV and request it. So I'm like, screw it. I'm going to Watertown. I drove to the Watertown DMV. I got in line. I get to the guy at the counter. He has no idea what I'm talking about. I'm showing him on my phone that it's there on the Mass DOT website. And he's like, I don't know how to do it. Go knock on the door for the road test. And this is where living spiritually, guys. I've been saying this all the time. I feel like I walk with a team of angels. My intuition, I get put where I need to be. I used to have what was considered the worst luck in the world. Today, people tell me constantly I have a horseshoe up my ass because everything that can go right in my life goes right. Get this, guys. This is crazy. I go over and I knock on the hearing room door. There's nobody in there. So I wait a minute. 2 people come in from outside. So I wave and the guy goes, 1 minute. So I sit down patiently. Guy comes to the door. He said, can I help you? And I said, sir, I wasn't trying to get out of line. I was told from the counter to come knock on the door. I got some questions. He's like, no, you're fine. What's up? I explained the situation to him, and the guy's just got this big grin on his face. He's like, you're not going to believe this. He goes, I know exactly what you're talking about. There's literally one person in the state that you need to find to get that done. I'm like, and she goes, and she's sitting right there. I'm like, no way, right? He's like, listen, she's on the phone. Sit down. I'll explain and see if we can get her to come talk to you. So I sat down patiently for 20 minutes. She come out, grabbed me, said, what's going on? Gave her my permit. She looked up all my information. She's like, your truck, we go over it. And she's like, yeah. She goes, I'm the one person you need to. She goes, typically you got to call this number and find your way through. And then, they give me 2 weeks to call you back. And then you're on a list of people. She goes, but you're right here, right now. You want to schedule your road test. I'm like, absolutely. She goes, can you come Friday at 3 o'clock? Absolutely. Instead of waiting months and jump through a million hoops, God put me right where I needed to be in the middle of my workday. I just, out of nowhere, I'm like, whoop. Like, I was literally answering calls, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to take my lunch break and drive to the Watertown Registry. Like, it wasn't even part of my plan. God directly brought me there. Boom. This woman is only there for 15 minutes once a month. And I walk in, knock on the door. She walks in the room. And I got my road test on Friday. I went and I was actually having tires put on Friday, so I went back to the garage. Thank God I did. The order to put my tires in didn't go through. My tires would not have been there had I waited till Friday. I went and explained the situation. They gave me better tires for the same price that they had in stock. I'm dropping my truck off tomorrow morning. I just spent the rest of the afternoon going through, getting my truck, making sure the emergency brake, everything is up to par. My tires are going on tomorrow. My front end's being aligned. My sponsor, my good friend Marlene, is taking the afternoon to go with me down in Braintree on Friday, and God willing, I will have my actual full. I have my unrestricted permit right now, but I want that card. I want that license, and I got it, man. And like, it's because I follow through. I go after what I want. I don't just accept anything that I can change. I go after things today because one of my things was that I never did anything. I called myself unlucky. I said I was ineligible for things because I didn't chase things. I didn't go after things. Today, I accept what I must accept. I have the disease of addiction. I can never use again. I can never drink in safety. I've got to work my recovery every day. Whatever. Also, there's so many things that I accept, and I do so with gratitude because I'm happy today. But I don't accept that I can't make changes in my life. I don't accept that I won't. I just have to. Stand there and take anything. Like, if I have the opportunity to go after something, and guys, here's the thing, at the end of the day, the squeaky wheel gets greased, you know what I mean? Like, you can't sit back and wait for things to come to you. And again, I'm not overstepping my bounds, I'm not pushing anything, I'm not asking for anything that is not right, but I don't just let bureaucracy, and the registry's tough, man. It has been tough. It's taken me, I've been at this for about 15 months now, but the latter half of this process, if I didn't step up and go out of my way to go in and talk to people nicely, explain my situation, ask them for help, I would probably not be getting any of this done for another 5 or 6 months. And here I have, boom, everything in line for Friday's road test. And I'm just, am I excited. I had to share that with you guys. Like, don't be afraid. Yeah, change is scary, and we can deal with the pain that we know. But guys, nothing good comes to us. Nothing new comes to us if we don't do something new. I look at my life today. I was so afraid to start this channel. I started this channel. I was so afraid to quit my job. I quit my job. I opened my business. I go into things blind all the time because I get referred. Because people just think, like, I can do anything. And I can find my way through just about anything. I will draw the line at certain things where I don't have licenses and things of that nature. And I won't do anything dangerous that I don't know I'm comfortable with. But I'm not afraid to walk in and take on a job or something that I have absolutely no idea of what I'm looking at, because I know I can figure it out. I got a computer in my hand. I know mechanical systems. I know every system in the thing. It's just a different configuration. And because I do these things, my life continues to expand and get better. And I was texting my family. I called my friend Marlene, and she's like, you got a giant horseshoe up your ass, right? I'm like, yes, I do. And you know what, guys? That is so much nicer. Like, I like being that person today. I like the fact that I look at my life and say anything that can go right is going to go right because I do the work to make it happen. I do the work to hold the responsibility. I make the changes. I go into things blind. I take leaps of blind faith constantly. God directs me somewhere. I follow my intuition. I only have good on my heart, so I know my intuition is not leading me anywhere bad. If my spidey senses tingle up, then I close ranks and I get the hell out of there, because I know God's telling me this is a dangerous place. I ask for help. When I need something done that I can't do, I find somebody that can, and I make it worth their while. I don't manipulate. I don't do anything out of line, but I make sure I try to make it worth somebody's time. I try to help as many people around me, and I invite blessings into my life. And it's just, like, I walked out of that registry today. I was like, I cannot believe this just happened. Like, and I literally immediately prayed, oh my God, that was clearly your hand in my life again. Thank you. Pay attention, guys. Do good things. Make the changes you can. I know it's scary. It's a whole new world. But you know what? I have found, again, 100% accurate. All the new change I make in recovery is better, is good. It opens up new doors of opportunities. It has brought me to the opportunity to live a whole new life. And I love my new life. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. I'm never going to pretend that I do. But I know it's going to be good because I do good things today. I live in faith. I choose recovery. I choose God. I choose myself. I help others. I do good things. But don't be afraid of change. The only constant in life is change. We are coming out of addiction. We need change. Embrace change. Make good changes. Yeah, and the thing is, guys, you're not going to hit it 100% of the time. I make mistakes. I falter. I learn from them. And I get to keep those in my pocket for the next time I'm walking into a situation. I make a better choice, and that leads me somewhere. We learn more from our mistakes than we do from our successes. So it's okay to make mistakes, but just, do your due diligence and try. But don't be afraid of change. Anyway, the willingness to change is the spiritual principle of the day. It's an absolutely beautiful reading. It could not be more aptly timed. If you don't think there's signs from God, like, I look at the way these readings coincide with what's going on in my life, and I'm like, boom! Yeah, I could be passionate about this reading. I just lived it in my life today. It's absolutely beautiful, guys. The willingness to change. When we take the Serenity Prayer seriously and we really consider what in our lives we do have the courage to change, we find that our ability to shape our lives is limited more by our willingness than by anything outside of ourselves. We say the Serenity Prayer so much in recovery that it is easy to do it by rote, without intention or commitment. But to do so is to ignore our ability to shape our lives. Change is hard because it's often painful. Our current level of discomfort is at least familiar. Trading it for the unknown seems risky. We fear that the pain will be worse on the other side of a decision. Who wants to experience rejection or failure? What if we succeed? Then we may have a whole new slew of new responsibilities to deal with. Will we be able to manage these, and will we be able to manage those? Well, in simple terms, guys, those are the fears that limit our capacity to grow. Let it go. Change is even harder when we view the world as hostile to us. When we listen to the voices in our heads telling us that you can't or don't do it, ignoring that voice and practicing the willingness to change the things we can, and then taking action toward that change we want to make requires a lot of courage. We have to simultaneously accept where we are right now and be willing to take a risk. Guys, no risk, no reward. There are lessons to be learned regardless of the outcome. A bonus of recovery is that when we get to report back and share it with each other, we are not alone. We're never alone in recovery, guys. The affirmation is, today, I will carefully consider what I have the power to change. I will carefully consider what I have the power to change in my life right now. Instead of cursing the dark, I will change the light bulb. Sometimes it's just that simple. Guys, that is a beautiful reading. It could not be more aptly timed. I could not be more grateful today. I could not be more excited. I'm almost getting choked up at just my love for my future. The opportunities, the fact that I'm one step closer again. Everything that can go right in my life goes right. And again, doesn't mean it's easy, but I face the things that are going wrong and I take care of them at the earliest possible spot. That builds character. That builds confidence. It builds competence. Guys, don't when we ignore things and we accept the status quo, it festers, and it limits our ability to make the next right decision. Go at things head first. And again, by all means, do your due diligence, do your research, do your pause method. You know what I mean? Practice your recovery, but don't accept that where you are is where you have to be. Make where you are a stepping stone to where you want to be, where God wants you to be. Do things in faith. Do things to the best of your ability. Stand out in every situation for something positive. It requires courage. It requires action. It requires intention. But guys, we are all standing at a point where we can make our lives second to none. I would not have believed for a moment that any of this was possible, because that was my old limited thinking. I wasn't willing to make the changes. When I got into recovery, and Christmas Eve, somebody came in and they were putting on a commitment, and this guy he had that spark of life that I missed, that I wanted. He had success. He had a story similar to mine, and he was killing it. Going on vacations, new cars, buying home, family, whatever. Just stability, happiness, gratitude, love. And I'm like, why can't I? And boom, light bulb moment. Because you don't go after it. You don't try. You don't apply yourself. And then boom, flash right back. Like, look at the way you're arguing in your head about even starting your YouTube channel. And I said, screw it. I'm going to do it. I may fail and I may make an ass of myself and things may not work out the way I want. But if I don't try, then I know nothing's going to come to me. Nothing's going to happen. Nothing's going to change. I need change. We all need change. Go after change. Be the change you want to see in the world. Guys, take action. Don't wait for somebody to do it for you, and don't wait for somebody to give you permission. Go after. But again, as I've said so many times, don't manipulate, don't cheat, don't steal, don't step on toes. Understand everything on this channel that I talk about is with the understanding that we do things properly. We stay clean, we help others, we show up in meetings, we talk to our higher power, we work our recovery, we do things right. I was the master of doing things half-assed, cutting corners, manipulating, getting the outcome that I wanted out of a situation I didn't deserve. It was enormously overwhelming and difficult for me to let all of that go, but I understood that was what was blocking me from anything good in my life. Now, instead of being able to, and maybe I could get one result by ramming my head through the wall, even though I burned my life down around me because I ignored everything else. I don't do that. I seek balance. I seek recovery. Guys, you got to do it for yourself. It is absolutely amazing. Use the serenity prayer to determine what you can change, what you have to accept, and have the courage to go after what you can. Because there's a lot more you can than you believe. And until you look at it intentionally, you won't see that. I never did. So many others don't. I look at things saying like, well, what can I do? Like I talked about last Friday at the meeting, like I can't, when somebody said I can't change the opinions of others, they're absolutely right, to a point, but I can change myself to be the very best version of myself, and that inherently will change others' opinions of me, right? Same statement, two completely different actions and outcomes, and I love the person that said that, and I know he watched the video, so Tim, I just had to expand upon it. Like, that's the do something extra. And Tim is where I get it from. Tim is my sponsor. He's somebody I look up to. He's somebody that had what I wanted early on and inspired me to come into recovery. I'm so honored to have him as my sponsor and my friend. But again, there's more. Because Tim does more. I do more. We're thriving. Things are going good for us. We're able to control our lives, and so many others out there. Guys, I did something today. It was almost hard to do. I opened up Facebook, and a good friend of mine who's in recovery for Overdose Awareness Month had posted a picture of himself today and a picture of himself in active addiction to show the change with the caption, "Recover Out Loud so others don't suffer in silence." And I had to search my phone to find, because I thought I deleted pretty much all. That's how embarrassed I was. And I was pretty embarrassed when I put up a picture today of what I looked like. It was a picture from October of 2024. And I put up a picture I think I took, it was actually a few months ago now, where I just got my new glasses. and I posted them side by side, and Jesus, you should see the reactions I'm getting on Facebook, and I'm proud of that today. I'm embarrassed of what I look like, but it doesn't matter because the weight of what I've done since overrides the insecurity I had about what I look like then. That is what happens when we have the willingness to change. It fixes everything, and you're not going to hit it. You're not going to get it right off the bat every time, but it's going to be worth it, and you're going to learn from every time you don't, and it'll bring you a step closer to when you do. But if you don't try, you're not going to get anything other than maybe a handout. I don't want handouts. I like to give handouts today. I went from the person seeking handouts to the person giving handouts because I had the willingness to change. It works. Guys, that is the video for today. Thank you so much for being here with me. Always remember, God loves you. I love you. We'll see you in the next one.